All right, they say timing is everything, but I'm reading this story of Barron's over the weekend, how ISIS is sort of dying on the vine, and then I get this report that ISIS apparently killed an American soldier, not just any American soldier, a Navy SEAL, indicating that even if you're an advisor in that neck of the woods, you are still a target and still subject to all the rules and engagements of war. Walid Phares is Donald Trump's foreign policy advisor. So, Walid, it sort of begs that obvious question. What would Donald Trump do to stop this sort of thing where advisors are so, no matter, they're still targets?
Absolutely. Number one, you don't, broadcast to the hostile forces, to the enemy, who are you sending and where you are sending them and when are you sending them. Number two, you would actually look at the whole picture. If those individual military that we are sending to Kurdistan in this case to help the Kurds push back against ISIS, what is the strategy? Till what point? So many questions will be asked by the next administration if Mr. Trump wins the presidency.
So how would he eradicate ISIS? I mean, without sending and committing a lot more troops, which he's ruled out, how would he eradicate it?
First of all, as he said over the past weeks in his speech as well, he would not rule out anything. He wouldn't say, I would not do this. So that's very important because that would disorient the enemy strategy. Number two, with regard to ISIS on the ground, we're talking about two countries. We have Iraq and we have Syria, and maybe we'll be considering looking at Libya. Number one, we will continue to do what we're doing right now, but we need to have allies. He just said 24 hours ago that we need allies on the ground. And when we say allies, it's not just the Kurds or some Sunni tribes in the Sunni Triangle and in Syria some militias. It's really the Arab countries. We're talking about the Gulf, we're talking about Jordan, we're talking about Egypt, and all these countries haven't been reached out by the administration for that purpose. Now,
they say, the Obama administration, they have been reached out to, and they kind of shrug their shoulders or don't do much, wanting and waiting for more American help. So it's sort of like a catch-22. How would a President Trump, in that case, deal with that?
He would, well, first of all, to your first point, we are in touch with diplomats and decision makers and opinion makers, and actually if you read their editorials in Arabic and in English in that region, you will see them complaining that the administration came to us. And when we suggested to them, to the administration, that we are ready to do so, the answer was, no, don't do anything at this point in time. Why? Because we have the Iran deal. We don't want to perturb Iran. That's the actual answer that came. But nevertheless, I think a Trump administration will be meeting with them, will having summits with them. And when we have deals with Iran, first thing we do is we consult and review that deal with our closest allies. Should it be Jordan, should it be the Gulf, or Israel, which was not done.
But what I'm hearing from you is obviously, nothing is on the table or off the table. So there's no indication how a Trump administration or you playing a foreign policy role in it would be different from anything we've seen now.
Oh, it will be absolutely different. Number one, we will be having a strategy not to contain ISIS, which is what's happening right now, but to dismantle ISIS. And even more important than that, it's not just the destruction of ISIS. That's probably the easier part. It's not easy, but it's the easier part. What would you do after that? You would seize Mosul. You would seize Raqqa. What troops will be underground? What kind of political architecture you would establish? It is 100 miles away from what the administration has so far achieved.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Thank you very, very much.